Oh, by the way, I have some news to report to you.
What?
Because you are too incompetent, my mother has decided to move into our house.
Huh?
The sale of the parents' house is already complete, and her belongings have been sent. From now on, work hard on housework under my mother's supervision every day.
I was so dumbfounded that I couldn't say anything. I understand.
Oh, you're obedient. I'm relieved that you seem to be reflecting on your mistakes. Well then, please take care of the luggage.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm a 30-year-old office worker. I am currently dating Grayson, whom I met on a matching app. He has a sense of cleanliness and a stable income as a company employee. I was at an age where I was thinking about getting married soon, so I approached him first. And one day, he proposed to me, and of course, I said a yes. And so we decided to get married. And we went to his parents' house to report our marriage. He had already lost his father, and his mother was living alone. His mother welcomed us with a smile and gave her approval for our marriage. There doesn't seem to be any problem with the mother-in-law problem that I was worried about. I was 30 years old and in a hurry to get married, but I might have met a very good husband. And after a successful wedding and honeymoon, our newlywed life began. I thought that happy days would continue from now on.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Breakfast is ready.
Oh, thanks. Huh? What's this? I always eat a proper breakfast.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it's okay, since I always have just bread.
I won't have any energy like that. Be careful from now on.
Sorry. So my husband was in a bad mood from the morning. I never thought something like this would happen right from the start. But, when we stayed over before, didn't he eat just bread without complaining? Maybe I remembered it wrong. The next day, I started preparing a hearty breakfast. My husband looked satisfied.
Right, this is it. This.
Well, if my husband is happy, that's fine. But there were other orders from my husband.
It's about dinner, but are you slacking off?
What? No, I'm not.
Something's missing. Think more about nutrition and increase the variety. Otherwise, I'll collapse. You'll be in trouble if I do.
Well, that's true, but...
Then increase the variety of dishes from now on.
Okay, I got it. He wasn't such a nagging person before. I was confused by how my husband's attitude changed after we got married. And then...
Hey, the room is hot. I don't like it if it's not cool. I drink only California wine. Make wine snacks first.
Orders like this kept increasing. I'm also working. I can't do housework that caters to my husband's every demand. I couldn't stand it and talked back. I can't keep up with your preferences like that. If you're so particular, don't push it on me, do it yourself. When I said that, my husband opened his eyes wide and got angry.
What? You're going to talk back to me, your husband? That's impossible.
My husband started getting ready to go out. Where are you going?
I'm going back to my mother's place. Reflect a little.
Saying that, my husband left. I can't believe he's going back to his mother's place just because we had a little fight. Well, for a while, I'll be relieved of my husband's annoying demands, so that's a good thing. After that, my husband didn't come home for about a couple days. And when he finally came back, he brought his mother with him.
Have you reflected on your mistakes?
What? Why did you take your mother here?
Isn't it because you're a bad wife?
Huh?
Grayson consulted me. He said you don't do what he says.
I'm sorry, but Grayson's requests are too detailed. We both work, so I want to reduce the burden of housework or reduce the demands.
You're a wife, aren't you? What are you slacking off for?
Huh?
You seem to need some education. I'll come and teach you housework from now on.
Wait a minute. That's not what I want. It's inconvenient.
You're noisy. I'm not listening to your opinion.
Let my mother train you.
In the end, I was pushed by the two of them, and my mother-in-law started coming to our house frequently.
You're late. Come home earlier.
That's not possible. I have work.
Don't talk back. I wonder what kind of education you received from your parents.
Why do I have to be told about my parents? But if I continue to argue, this situation will only last longer. I decided to cut my feelings and do as my mother-in-law said to end this hellish time as soon as possible.
This is how Grayson likes his seasoning.
Yes.
You need to have mayonnaise on hand to change the taste properly.
I see.
Make his pillow firmer. Use this perfume. Put cheese in the hamburger and always put scrambled eggs on the plate.
My mother-in-law teaches me only trivial things. I took notes without complaining and pretended to listen carefully. My mother-in-law seemed satisfied with my attitude and said,
You're finally becoming Grayson's wife.
She said.
It's okay now.
Finally, I was released. I was relieved. This will make things a little better. Thanks to taking notes, I was able to do the housework as my husband requested, and he seemed very satisfied.
You've finally become a proper wife. Keep it up.
Although I was annoyed by his condescending attitude, I was relieved that there were no more strange conflicts. However, to be honest, I wondered if I should continue our married life like this. But it's only been a year since we got married. Maybe it's too early to break up. I was really worried about what to do. In the meantime, something happened that made me decide to get a divorce. I was transferred to another department at work and became very busy. It was the busiest department in the company, with a lot to learn and a lot of overtime. As a result, I continued to come home very late every day. I thought he would understand that it was because of work, but my husband became more and more unhappy.
Hey! Why are you always coming home so late?
Didn't I explain it to you? This department is very busy right now.
Then can't you make something ahead of time or do something else? There must be something you can do, right?
If I do that, when am I supposed to sleep? I come home late at night.
I don't know about that. You're my wife, so your job is to prioritize housework. It's your job to make me feel comfortable. If your job is affecting the housework so much, then you should quit.
Wait a minute. Why do I have to be ordered around by you like that? I'm not quitting my job.
Are you going to defy me like that again? You haven't grown up at all. I would go back to my parents' house. This is the second time for you. There won't be a third.
With that, my husband packed his bags and left. Judging from the amount of luggage, he probably intends to stay with his mother for a while. I had completely lost my love for my husband. Being with someone so self-centered would only make me unhappy. After that, I was able to concentrate on my work because I was freed from housework. Thanks to that, I was able to learn one thing after another and get used to my job. I didn't need to worry about housework, so I was able to keep it to a minimum and it was very easy. As I spent my days like that, 2 weeks passed in the blink of an eye. I realized that I wasn't thinking about my husband at all, and I thought it was time to start thinking seriously about getting a divorce. Meanwhile, my husband called me. What's up? It's unusual for you to call.
How are you? Have you reflected on your actions?
My husband seems to be grinning. I can tell from his voice.
It's your fault. If you've reflected on your actions, I'll forgive you. What's wrong? You don't sound well. Oh, by the way, I have some news for you.
What is it?
You're so useless that my mother is moving to our house.
What?
We've already sold our old house and sent my mother's things.
What?
From now on, you'll be doing housework under my mother's supervision every day.
I was so fed up that I couldn't say anything. Okay.
Oh, you're obedient. I'm glad you've reflected on your actions. Well, please take care of the luggage.
With that, my husband hung up. I immediately started packing my things. Then I explained the situation to my parents and reported that I would be sending my luggage. My parents were angry with my husband and told me to come home right away. 2 days later, my mother-in-law's luggage arrived. Then my husband called me as if he couldn't stand it.
Did my mother's luggage arrive safely?
Yes, it did. And I've already sent my luggage to my parents' house.
What? What do you mean?
I mean exactly what I said. If your mother is coming, I'm leaving.
What? Don't mess with me. I won't allow that.
Why does Grayson's permission matter?
Of course it does. You're my wife. You can't just go to your parents' home without my permission.
I'm not going home. I'm moving out. And I'm leaving you, too. And I'm divorcing you. The divorce papers are on the table. Please fill them out properly.
Divorce? Why?
Why? How can you say that? You don't think about me at all. A wife isn't a husband's slave. You deserve to be divorced.
What should I do about the housework from now on?
Are you stupid? You're an adult, so do it yourself. Or why don't you push it onto your mother who understands your obsession?
I told my mother that she can push it onto Elizabeth.
You see? You only think of me as a slave. Well, anyway, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. If you don't agree to the divorce, I'll fight you in court.
Court.
Anyway, I'm hanging up now. Goodbye.
Hey.
I went back to my parents' house with the rest of my luggage. My husband seemed to be afraid of the word court, so a few days later, a completed divorce form was sent to me. I immediately submitted it. The divorce was successfully finalized. After that, I found a room that suited my ideal and moved. A little while later, my ex-mother-in-law called me. I forgot to block her calls. I thought I had done it, but I answered out of curiosity. Hello?
Oh, Elizabeth, help me. Grayson's selfishness is terrible.
Oh, I see.
And did Grayson earn so little?
Oh, didn't you know? At first, the income was stable, but he didn't get promoted at all, and his salary actually went down. So I made more money than him.
Please. Won't you come back, Elizabeth?
You're making funny jokes.
It's not a joke. I'm serious. Please, I'll change my attitude too.
I appreciate it, but I'll have to decline. I can't interfere with you living with your child alone, so please continue to have a good and fun life. Well then.
Wait.
I hung up the phone and blocked her calls. I don't know what happened to my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law, but they're both selfish, so I'm sure they'll never run out of trouble. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying comfortable days in a single-person apartment. For now, I'm having fun with my job, so I'm going to focus on it more and more. Thank you for watching until the end. How was today's story? If you like, please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next story.